Hey, how's it going, everyone? Let's go ahead and take a look at my portfolio and see how it's doing this last week and month and all that in between. So right over here, you can see our current value has dropped pretty significantly since my last video. It's sitting at $77,811. I did put a good chunk of money in this week because the market has dropped pretty significantly. I'll actually show my buys this week. You can see here in the last day, it's down about $700, which is close to what I put in. I put in $800, so it's nice putting in money and then it just all vanishes. Very nice, right? Which is fine. I love buying during the dips. And, who knows if this is going to last a long time or if it's going to be, relatively short. Last week, you can see here, I have lost about 2,288. And I say lost, I didn't actually lose it. It's just unrealized. And then you can see I actually earned a little bit of dividends, which is nice. And then let's go to the last month. The last month is actually down now. So we're down about almost $1,700 over the last month, which is almost exactly how much I put in as well. So again, putting in money and it just goes away. I did actually slow down on my purchasing for a little bit because the market had been going up pretty substantially. And I tend to slow down when the market is moving up really, really fast. And then as it goes back down, I start buying more. If we go to the quarter, we're only down about $182 in the quarter. We earned about $235 in dividends, which is really cool and a very exciting thing. And then for the last year, we're actually down almost $9,000, which is pretty crazy to think about. But in our all-time, we're still in the green. Like, we're still in the green for everything that we've ever earned as far as dividends, any profits that we sold from stocks in the past. We're up $882, which is 3.75%. You can see the market gains is technically in the negative, but those dividends, that is what's actually doing it for us right now too, which is really cool. Really, really cool. Also, too, before we go into the buys, if you are somebody who wants to actually open up an account with M1 Finance, always have them in the show notes down below for you. It does help support out the channel since, free content and all. But real quick, if you want to also open up a WEBULL account, which you probably heard tons of times from all the YouTubers, right now they are doing up to 12 free stocks. So if you held off for the longest time and didn't want to do it for whatever reason, but you want to do it now, my arrow is like way off screen there. You can't even see it. I'm going to have a link for you in the show notes down below. Check it out. Sign up, get the free stocks, sell them off, close the account. Doesn't really matter. But if you want to check them out, I'll have that link down there for you. So you can go ahead and check it out. I think I said that multiple times. So let's go and look at the activities here. So we had that stock split from Tesla recently. So we gained another 10.453 shares. So we're sitting about like a little over 15 shares now, I believe. But I did a pretty big deposit because you can see here, I was doing like $200 deposits, $100 here, $88 here. I was doing small buys, but we had the market dropping quite a bit lately. So I decided to do quite a bit more. And this is what I did. I did 12 buys out of the 17 or 18 stocks that I have. You think I'd know that number pretty well, but I just want to see what's not on screen because some of this is not going to be on screen for a moment. So we got Home Depot. We put in about $75. We did 100 into Google, 50 into Tesla. I usually do just a little bit into Tesla, at least once a month. 25 into Microsoft, 25 into Airbnb and Square, 50 into Ross, which is for some reason one of my favorite stocks. Love the store, and every time I go in, I get compelled to buy more shares of the company. All right, so I jumped over here onto Qualtrim, and this just kind of gives us a more visual look of the earnings report, which I love. I'm a visual person by far. So you can see their revenue actually went down. They don't have their latest quarter on there. Anyways, but even then, their latest quarter wasn't that great. But you can see here, they've been pretty steady across the board, but I'm just a huge fan of this company. Every time I'm in there, there's just lines for 20 minutes sometimes, like 15, 20 minutes. Maybe not that long. Okay, maybe like 10-minute lines, but still, I'm waiting in there for a while. There's always a lot of people. Value is great. They've actually done pretty well even in recessions, so if that ends up becoming the case. Now, they do have a dividend as well too, which is nice, but I also am holding them for the actual growth that they're going to have long term. I know they're opening up more stores, and they're doing really well overall, so I'm pretty happy with that. Their payout ratio is really low for a dividend payout at 28%, so there's more room for growth on the dividend side, but what's even more important is that there is a lot of coverage there to be able to, pay for other investments that they have for the future. So even though things are kind of looking a little steady here, I believe long term this is going to be a great company for me based off of what I want in my portfolio long term. I always have to mention that because I don't want people to like invest in companies that have zero meaning to them, but Russ definitely has a lot for me, especially because I get to see things in real time with them. Then I put a little into Amazon, and then I put a lot. I say a little. $100 is not a little. And then I put a lot into Meta right now at $275, which is probably the most at once that I've bought from them. They're getting closer to their 52-week low, and I still think that what they're going to be working on and what they're building for the long term is still going to be something I am investing in. I obviously can be wrong, and if that's the case, that sucks. But if I'm right, or if they go even close to what some of the expectations can be down the road with like Web3 and all that, that can be a really great investment. And I'll have to double check how many shares I have right now just to kind of give you some context. And then I put a little bit into Costco just because I haven't bought in Costco in a long time, and they took a little bit of a dip. And I mean, they're extreme valuation right now still. Ally I put in about 25, and then Discover I put in about $25 as well. So again, that equaled out to $800. So it's just weird how putting in $800 and it just, tons of are just $25 a piece, and it just felt like not a whole lot, but that is the name of the game because we buy in fractional shares here with M1 Finance, which is probably one of my favorite reasons that I love M1 Finance. I mean, granted, a lot of places do fractional shares too, but nonetheless, you can see here some of the companies we own. We have almost 32 shares of Microsoft. Where was it? Meta is what we were looking at. So I have about 30 shares of Meta right over here, which is pretty solid. Average price point is $212. I'm hoping to continue to lower that average price if the stock price stays where it's at. If we go back to Qualcomm, let me see if I can bring up this data point right here. So you can see the PE ratio is 16 right now, so that's really good. And I'm pretty solid with this company as far as where they're going, where the revenue is at, and how much of an impact they can actually have across the world, just in general. So pretty comfortable with investing in them, even though they've been down for quite some time. When did they have that huge drop? Back in February. So it's definitely been some time, and that's when I did a majority of my purchasing was back in that. I'm pointing at things you can't even see on screen. My bad. Let me click on this. That is my bad. Okay, so right over here, this is where they had their drop, and then I've definitely bought in a lot during that drop, and then since I have at $212 per share, I definitely have also been buying in this area as well too. So we'll see how that goes long term. Obviously, if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll see that happening in real time as we will share this portfolio as often as I can, and especially when I earn my dividends, because I love sharing when I earn my dividends. Because look at that. Right now, I have over $1,200 that I've earned on this portfolio in its entirety, which is fantastic. Now, don't forget to check out the link in the show notes down below so you can get those 12 free stocks, freaking 12 free stocks, which is crazy when you open up your account. So go ahead and check that out. And then afterwards, check out my next video right over here if you want to keep on watching when it comes to investing videos. My name is Dennis, and I'll see you in the next video.